I was playing against Slavko Cicak. He is a local player. I mean, his first and last name suggests he's from somewhere else, but he's been living in Sweden, as far as I know. At least I think so. Or maybe actually not. I'm not really sure. Anyway, he's been playing for Sweden for many years. Yeah. So actually, now that I'm starting to think, he said that he's living in Germany. Yeah. Now I recall something. So he's a Grandmaster of about 2500. As you can see, I'm playing with black. And I'm thinking, whatever. Let's go for the kill. So I'll try to beat the guy. But he's a very positional player. And I'm thinking, is it a good idea to play against him the Dutch defense? One of my favorite sharp continuations. I don't know. I don't want to do it. You know, Dutch defense, it works in general pretty nicely against the players who are picking up the gauntlet. And those guys who are just playing something positional, the Dutch defense not always gets to where you need to get. So I thought, okay, whatever. I'm going to play d5. So I had some ideas what I'm going to do. And he plays e3. And I was like, yeah, wow, that's a pretty boring way to play. And this is something I don't play myself from the black's perspective. But since I've been coaching Levy a bit, I wanted to replicate some of the games that Levy was playing from the white's perspective. So Levy has played quite a bit of knight f3, e3 from the white's perspective. And I thought I could try to replicate some of his games from the black's perspective. Although I don't play this line. So I play knight f6. I usually play something else. I think I usually play here. I think I was playing with the Lasco bishop out very early. So I played knight f6, and I thought he's going to play c4. C4, I'm going to play e6. He's going to play b3. I'm going to play whatever. Like b6, bishop b7, bishop d6. Get a big fight, a lot of pieces on the board. I'm doing okay. Like he plays b3. I'm like, wait. I mean, I'm not playing this from the white's perspective for a very good reason. Why b3 is inaccuracy? Because I can now get out the bishop immediately. Because one of the ideas why white very early played c4, for example, c4, c6, and knight c3, so that you cannot easily get out the bishop. For example, if black plays bishop g4, you always need to watch out for queen b3. That's a big problem. So queen b6 or queen c7, you drop the pawn on d5. And the best move for black is bishop c8. You just go back. So that's why, at least the way I understand it, if white is very slow with his threats, to play c4, and some players don't really like to play c4, you should always bring out the bishop. And by the way, Levy had one game like this in the New York IM tournament, was it? Where I think his opponent played d4, knight f6, and g3, which is not an ideal way to play. And Levy played bishop g4, which is pretty good. No, wait, this was in Italy, I think. But a bishop f5 now works, because you see, c4, c6, queen b3. This pawn is not targeted, so black can just play whatever. Queen c8. Yeah, so c takes, knight c3, e6, black is just fine. Knight c6, a6, whatever, bishop e7, castle. So that's why there's a very good reason why white is normally an opening, including d4, c4, so that queen b3 becomes a thing, and you cannot easily get out the light square bishop. And since he didn't do it, I thought bishop f5 makes a bit more sense, because if I play bishop g4, I'm simply giving him opportunities like trap my bishop, get the two bishop advantage, maybe something like knight e5, and he's going to get an easy game. So that's why I thought I'm going to play bishop f5, e6, and h6. And I'm doing great. So he went here. Yeah, bishop a3, I was like, what? What is this? I mean, it's not like I really mind traded the docks with bishops, and I thought he definitely should play bishop b2. So he plays bishop a3. Okay, fine, I'm playing knight e7. So his idea was that after e6, he's ruining my castle. So rook f8, king f8, I'm gonna spend a couple of tempi to get to the safety, but to be honest, it's nothing. You know, it's not nothing special. I can even allow to do this. Like here, he plays bishop e2 and I don't know, h6, king goes here. It's probably just fine. But I'm losing some time. So anyway, I played knight e7, he went here, I played here, trying to keep non-symmetrical position on the board. He traded, I took with the knight. Yeah, I was not really sure, maybe I should have played a bit more aggressive here. Like I considered briefly e5. He takes on f8 and I take with something, I don't know, king f8, he takes on d5 and I take with the knight. But I just didn't believe in this position. So probably I should try it. I'm not really sure, but I mean, White has done nothing wrong, right? So why I'm fighting for the advantage? So I played e6. He played bishop e2. And now this is just insane, you know? I'm thinking, I mean, I obviously have no problems in this opening. But how do I get a fight? And actually this last move slightly puzzled me, this bishop e2. Because I thought, if he wants to trade off every single piece off the board, why don't you just play knight h4? So knight h4, bishop g6, I traded. And after bishop g4, bishop e2, trade, get back the knight. And we have two knights on the board, no weaknesses for either of the players. So I thought, yeah, he could just play knight h4 immediately. So most likely after bishop e2, he's not going to play knight h4 anymore. And I'm thinking, I should choose between h6 or knight e7. So which should I do? I mean, knight e7 feels more natural because I'm improving my knight. So I'm thinking, I'm going to play knight e7. If he goes castle, now I'm playing h6. Stop any knight h4 ideas. He probably is going to play something like d4. I'm going to go here. He's going to go knight c3. I'm going to go whatever, c6. And he most likely is going to trade the bishops. Yeah, and the position is just dead equal. I probably will reject it to keep some unbalance on the board. And after h3, we are going to play this position. Yeah, so I thought, okay, maybe I have some chances to use my two knights against the bishop. The position is just so dead equal. So I thought, okay, you know, h6 I'm not going to do because he's definitely not going to play knight h4. The position is so weird. Let me start with knight e7. He does play knight h4. I look, bah! No! I mean, if I had known that he wants to trade off every single piece of the board, I would just play h6, right? And I just thought it just makes no sense in this position. I mean, his pieces are scattered all over the board, and he has c4, b3, some darkspool weaknesses, the knight on b1, the bishop on e2, and now he plays knight h4, allowing me to take on b1. But to make things worse, he offers me a draw right here. So we have spent less than half an hour on the round. So this is Saturday game. It's 2 p.m. It's a team match. So he plays knight h4, move number 8. And he offers me a draw. I'm like, never, dude. Never. Never. You know, I came here to play. So I know something pretty funny happens. So I'm reaching for the bishop. I'm executing the long move, you know. I'm taking the bishop to 5. I'm taking the long move. And he extends the hand like he is about to accept my agreement to a draw. So this was really awkward. This was not intentional. So I play bishop takes on b1, and I want to say I would like to play. You know, this is the proper etiquette. I'm making the move. I want to press on the clock, and I'm always saying I would like to play. This was so hilarious. So he's like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, okay, let's play. Oh my goodness, I thought this was awkward. You know, again, nothing against my opponent, but it was like a really bad timing to decline a draw, right? If I would make any move like bishop g6, this move is like directed at me. He would not like expect I'm accepting a draw. But I'm making a long move, I'm like extending the hand. Jesus. So I said no. But thank goodness he was not mad about it. You know, this was not intentional. I just thought that was pretty funny. So I play bishop e1 and the game continues. Rook b1. By the way, the reason why I said no, because I have a simple principle. If I'm not worse, I'm continuing. And I would really hate to see my team finishing, for example, 4 points against 4, like in a draw, where we barely lose a match, and I did not give my best. And one thing about team matches, what you have to understand is that typically with black against a grandmaster, a draw is a very good result. So you're supposed to play positionally. You're supposed to play for a draw. You get a draw, it's a good result for the team, because the players with the white, they will be striking for the going for the point, and players with black, if you're facing an equal opposition, you're just fine to get a draw. That's how it works. That's how it works. This is a team event, right? But I kind of felt that I just came here, you know, like half an hour ago. So no, let's continue. So I played show castle. I'm not really sure. Maybe this was not accurate. Yeah, I was thinking maybe a5 was a bit more accurate here to stop his b4. Actually, you know what the engine here says? I mean, it's pretty amazing. If you're interested about some cuckoo stuff from the engine says g5. Why not? Hello, yeah. Yeah, g5, yeah, cool. So the point is after g5, you play g4. Right. Now the point is after knight h4, this knight is after the game. I mean, this I kind of get it. Yeah, so you could play maybe h5, maybe c6, queen e7, long castle, the knight is bad. I understand it. But what about knight e4? And now engine says c5, knight c2, d takes, b takes, and black is slightly worse. What is this? You just... Okay, but there. So that's why I'm not an engine. So I played castle. He took on d5. And I thought, I'm going to play next move a5. a5, c6, queen e7. So I thought he's going to go here. I'm going to go a5. He's going to go here. I'm going to go queen e7. He's going to go here. I'm going to go c6. Stopping a3, b4. He's going to go somewhere here. I'm going to go knight e4. And I thought I'm doing okay. You know, he's going to play 3 b4. I'm going to take it. I'm going to use the open a file, blah, blah, blah. He plays b4. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe you can play like this. You know, that you can leave your knight on h4. You can leave your king on e1. But b4 is actually a good move. And he just keeps the king in the center. The point is, if I play a5, he takes. My pawn on b7 is under attack. So I gotta play c6. At least I thought so. I thought he's about to castle short. No, he plays knight f3. And I want to go here. I'm looking for some hostilities here. For example, queen a5, rook takes it, and I try to trap the rook. But it never works. I have no piece to attack this rook. I mean, he can just play a short castle. I can't play queen a6. I can't go knight e7, knight c5. And if I ever take on a2, I'm just slightly worse. So I have 2 pawn islands. He has 1 pawn island. At some point, he's going to play show castle d4. Wait, maybe I'm just very concrete. with c5. I'm not allowing him to do it. Okay, I didn't really consider this. Now that I'm looking at this, it kind of makes sense. So a5 takes, queen a5, rook b7, queen a2 here in c5. But the position obviously remains completely equal. Like queen b1, whatever. Trade everything. Just to draw. So I decided to play knight e4 to be annoying. Again, he's not castling. I play queen e7. Finally, he castles. And now the thing is, I'm running out of ideas. So what makes this position so annoying? Because it's about to get to the cosplay structure, meaning he's about to play d4. And one thing I know about the cosplay structure is that this sort of forms an arrow. These pawns, they form an arrow in which direction you're supposed to play. So I have the pawns on b7, c6, and d5. It means I have to play at the king side. Yeah, so I have to do something here. But how? f5? f4? Really? So how am I supposed to organize an attack here? Like queen d6, rook e8, rook e6, rook h6? Is it f5, rook f6, rook h6, g5, g4, queen h4? I have a feeling my attack is going nowhere because I'm missing the ducks with bishop. So I'm thinking it's going to have to wait. And by the way, he has not yet played d4. He can play d3 first. And he is going to play at the pawn minority, try to create targets. So I decide to wait. I go here. I go here. And I think I'm pretty smart. Because if at some point, yeah, now I wait g6. If at some point he's going to go b5, I'm going to take it and I'm going to play c5. Put my knight on b6 and I'm doing great. So this is my idea. And at the same time, I'm thinking about starting some sort of a kingside attack. Maybe play queen d6, maybe put the knight on d6. Because I know, yes, that the knight belongs on d6, but then what? I mean, this I know that the knight belongs on d6, but then what? Where's my game? So he went here, I went here. I'm stopping b5. Again, b5 takes. I always play c5. I'm pretty happy, you know, again. Maybe b6, maybe knight b6. I'm doing great. He went here. I went here. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to provoke some targets. He went here. I went here. I'm like, please play d3. So if he goes d3, I want to go back. If he goes here, I want to go here. If he goes b5, I'm thinking there's a room for some excitement with c5. Rook c5, rook c5, rook c5, and I could play knight f5. Hit the rook, hit the knight. Rook goes here, boom, knight e3. So this is what I saw. Not take on d4, but knight e3, queen e3, I'm just winning. So I'm calculating pretty well. Yeah, but that's the point, right? He's not rushing. Yeah, he's not rushing with all of those things. Yeah, queen b3 or queen a2 to prepare b5. So his idea, of course, is to play b5. And I'm thinking maybe I have an extra idea here at some point. Maybe I have to push myself c5. But again, I'm just making my pawn structure simply worse. I don't believe it's the correct way. So I played here. He plays another annoying move, bishop f1. I'm like, ugh. I play rook c7. I try to, you know, generate some counterplay here, provoke something. He went here. Also one key idea. One key idea is that if he ever plays d4 with the idea to play b5, I want to get the knight and anchor it with a pawn. Now that's what I want. This position. If I get this position, I'm doing great. And that's the thing. This is why he's never going to play d4. This is why here, he's smart. He's not playing d4 immediately, because then I anchor the knight with b5, and that's it, I'm doing great. This pawn on d2 is what makes my life so difficult. Because he can always play d3 or maybe play b5 without playing d3 or d4. So finally he played b5, which I felt gives me some chances. I take on b5 with the knight. Queen b5, rook c7. I don't believe this can ever work. Like here, I want to play rook e7, and Yeah, I thought actually even maybe queen a3 is pretty good. Queen a3, knight e4, and maybe just b4. So it's a pretty interesting sacrifice, but again, you never basically play it when you're playing with white. Knight a4, knight c3 is incoming. So he played e4 and he's about to get back the pawn. And I'm thinking, well, can I play queen a3? Can I do this? Queen a3, if he trades, I'm great. Put the knight on c4. But he's gonna go here. So this idea doesn't work. I can always, of course, play knight c4 and play this position, which is slightly worse for me. At least I thought so. Rook c4, knight e6, he has some pressure here. He has one pawn island. I have two pawn islands, so probably I'm slightly worse. Slightly. But I'm thinking maybe he's gonna take on b5. Like, for example, takes, and takes, and takes, and takes, and takes, and queen b5. And now I have chances. I'm very active here. Like, put the queen on b2, play knight c4, b5, b4, b3, and my pawn islands don't matter because I have a strong queen and an outside pass pawn. So this is the position I want. The problem, he doesn't really have to take. So it makes knight e1. A move which is initially a mystery to me because I don't understand what does he want. So I'm thinking, can I do the same idea again? I go here. I go here. So the threat is knight a3. If he takes it, and takes it, and takes it, and plays queen b5. I'm looking at this endgame. I'm thinking, maybe I have some chances here. I could go here. But probably he gives me perpetual, queen e8, queen e5, or also king f1, and I don't think I'm in any position to give a mate here. It doesn't feel like a mate to me, to be honest. So I discard the idea, and I decide, oh, I'm going to be smarter. I'm going to play king g7. Because now, if he takes on b5, and takes on c7, and takes on b5, I'm avoiding this check. And I can make some smarter moves like maybe queen c3. So he goes here. I could go knight c4, queen e5, and maybe there's something here. Maybe. You know, there's no checks anymore. And maybe I could just play queen b3, try it with knight e2, b5, b4. At least there's a fight. I'm trying something. And then he plays g3. And I spent so much time here trying to figure out, can I play queen a3 now? And queen d6. And now the difference is, he can't go for this endgame. He's not taking on c7, so I have to take it here. And now this idea no longer works, because he doesn't have to protect the back rank. He just goes here. And I'm worse. So queen d6, knight e3, I'm just worse. I can't do this. Instead of knight e1, is it the wrong approach for white to throw the h-pawn? Maybe, yeah, he can play h4, but he just needs to make a window for the king, so this is what he did. And I just run out of ideas. So I sit here until the last minute. I play knight c4, kind of hoping queen c4 runs into knight a3, so of course he's not going to miss it. And I was hoping to exploit those light square weaknesses. So let's say he goes rook c2. I'm playing some knight e4, and maybe, just maybe, you know, I can organize something here. Put the knight on g5, put the queen on e4, knight h3, h5, h4, whatever, outside pass, pawn, you name it. Maybe. Yeah, he plays rook c5 and realizes, oh my goodness, I'm just missing moves. Yeah, because now after knight e4, there's rook e5. I can't do it. So my entire idea of an attack is simply not working. So what I did, I played queen f6. I have for a draw. He accepted. So I had here 3 minutes. He had 28. I thought, I'm in no position here anymore to try anything. I was kind of hoping he's going to reject, because it would put me in a position where I have no choice. I have to play on. But I felt like I have to bail out. You know, because clearly I'm starting to miss moves. I just missed rook c5. Knight e4 is incoming. No, this is not slightly worse. It's just, I think it's just equal. He could play like rook c2, maybe I play knight e4, h5, knight g5. I can also play b6, c5. By the way, c5 I think is also a threat that I'm doing. After the game, he said he was considering to play f3. Well, if he would have played f3, I would have continued the game. Because it weakens the king, yeah? So I thought something like rook e8, and it just cannot work. Like knight f5, rook e7, go at an attack. Maybe I offer the draw one move early. I don't know. Anyway, I finished in a draw, and guess what? I checked an engine after the game. Another 99% accuracy game. How about that? So this was the second game in a row. I played 99% accuracy. So the first game was a very nice attacking game. The second game was a pretty boring positional game. It lasted 30 moves. There was a draw for a move 8. Nothing could have been done, but apparently it's close to an ideal game. So we have one more.